Welcome back to our channel. We are James and Kelly, and we are converting this Ram ProMaster into a tiny home on wheels so that we can drive the Pan-American Highway from Alaska all the way to South America.
In today's episode, we are building our countertops. We are going to be finishing them and putting them on our counters.
We are also going to be finishing up our plumbing system, so going from our gray water tank up to our sink and finishing it out. This is our last project of our van build, and we are super excited because that means we get to move in soon. Let's get to work.
Yeah, let's get to work.
It's cold.
It's so cold.
One of the last things that we need to do to be able to live in our van is to finish hooking up our plumbing system. We are going to be putting in our gray water line today. So we're going to be drilling another hole through our van floor down underneath so that we can attach our gray water PVC lines to our gray water undermount tank. We're just using a standard PVC pipe that will go through our floor, and then we are going to hopefully measure it correctly so that we can have an L right on top to go right on top of our floor so that it can fit flush underneath. Oh, sorry, so many moving parts. So that it can fit underneath our cabinet, like so. So we're not really putting any plumbing in our cat's litter box area. We're trying to keep it out of the cabinet as much as possible.
Hopefully this is the last hole that I need to drill inside the van. On the van's floor and through the metal, the worst part. Yay!
I did it! Woo!
All right, looks good. Dude. Good job. With our excellent hole cut, we're gonna put this PVC pipe tubing in it, and I'm gonna seal it in with some of our marine grade sealant that we still have. We have like just enough left that I think it'll do it. I'm using this L to like hold it up at the perfect spot that we need it, and also to center it so the L will cover all of the gaps. That way I can go from underneath with the sealant and caulk in all of the sealant around the metal. Once the sealant is dried, I'm going to take off this L and spray foam all the gaps that are inside to insulate it better, and then we can start gluing all of the PVC attachments together. It has been 24 hours since we have glued in the pipe, so all of the glue should be cured by now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the undermount part of our drainage system. And I have all the parts with me right now. What we're going to be doing is basically reducing the size of our drain to this 3/4 inch inner diameter rubber hose. I know normally you should not reduce the size of your drainage pipes because it can cause some drainage issues like build up and, you know, slow draining, but because it's just for our sink, it's fine to decrease the size to this smaller hose. And how we're going to be doing that is using some bushings. So I bought these two bushings, one that goes into our gray water tank and then one that will go into the pipe. So what these do is they reduce the size from 1.5 inches to a 3/4 size hole, and that way I can screw in these parts to get a barb so I can put the tube onto that. First thing that I'm going to do is put all of these screw-in pieces together. That way they're nice and tight, and to put them all together I will be using some plumber's tape. The one that is angled will be the one that will attach to the pipe that comes through the bottom of the van. So I bought a female adapter piece that I'm just going to screw in the bushing to, and I want to make sure that this is screwed in pretty tight, and I forgot to add plumber's tape, but these really don't want to attach to each other, which is really annoying. So I'm gonna have to use some wrenches to make sure that they get in together. She's got to work.
That worked pretty well. Save us a couple dollars.
This is our drain system inside our van. We have the pipe coming up through the floor right here, and I've L'd it to go to the wall where we have kind of this sloped L to get past this curved bottom in our floor. And then it comes up to a T. At this T, we have one side going into our cabinet, which will be connected to our sink drain, and then at the top of the T, we have a vent to help the sink drain and to help vent the whole system. This stops it from getting any smell inside. So this vent is a one-way vent, so if water starts to back up, it shouldn't go out this. It should instead go into our sink. But it also is recommended 4 inches above the sink P-trap, which is standard plumbing. This is all dry fit right now, so we're going to go ahead and glue each piece together now. Now that it's in, we wait for it to dry. This is where our outdoor shower is going to be. We have already done the basic plumbing, and if you want to check out our basic plumbing video, make sure to click the link in the description. We've already done our basic plumbing out to this area. We've got a hot and a cold line running, as well as their shutoff valves. I'm going to build a box around our shutoff valves so we can open this box when we want to turn on and off the water. And then I will build a lower box for our mixer valve, which will mix the hot and cold water and then shoot it up into our shower head. So this is how the plumbing will work inside our shower boxes. I have the big shower box, which will have the shutoff valves, as well as our peak hole. I forgot to mention that we can look into our water tank and see where our water level is. So our cold water line comes in, we have the shutoff, and then it'll keep on running down into the mixer valve box. This is our mixer valve. This block of wood represents our mixer valve right here. Then we have our hot water line coming in, and it goes right and then left and then has its shutoff, and then it will also run into our mixer valve. So hot and cold come in from the sides, and then the mixer valve mixes it and then shoots it up. We'll have this line coming up all the way up around our peak hole out of the box, up at the top to where I will attach its shower head. One thing we need for a comfortable shower is some hot water, and for our build we decided to go with this Bosch electric water heater. It's the 2.7 gallon one, and it runs on 120 volts, so we had to wire a plug-in back here. I spent this morning constructing this little holder for it so it lifts it up into the air. I thought this was the best idea because we wanted to be able to use underneath it as storage, and if we stored it on the ground we wouldn't be able to put anything on top of it, so everything above it would be wasted space. We've already plumbed inside our box the water line that will run to our heater, and then the lines that will run hot to the rest of the van. So all we need to do is use these sink hookup attachments to hook up to the cold and water spouts at the top. And then the last thing I need to do is to plumb this pressure release valve here at the top. What we're going to do is use 3/4 inch PEX and get it to this corner here, and then we're going to switch it to a flexible hose for the rest of the way outside of the van. I dry fit all of our PEX tubing for our pressure release valve, so we just have it coming over our water tank right here. and then going down at an angle, and it'll come down right here. So I have this piece right here, and that's where it will switch to a barbed unit and then switch to our flexible tubing for the rest of the way out. So at the end of this, it just goes to the corner where our air hose goes to from our water tank. So any water that goes through these tubing will just go straight out of the van. And that's really all that needs to be done for the pressure release valve. You're just trying to get any water that's released from that outside of the van. And I made sure that all of my piping is angled down because it's just supposed to gravity flow down. You don't want any of the piping to go up or it won't flush all of the water out.
Finished setting up the gray water tank and prepping our plumbing all the way up to where it'll meet our sink. We have also finished installing our bed, so now it is finally time to do our last big project of our van build.
We're going to put in our countertops. That's one done. We have finished our countertops. They are red oak countertops. We put a nice stain on them, finished them, and now it's time to put them in. One thing we need to do is cut the hole in for our sink, and we've enlisted some help because I unfortunately broke our jigsaw while making the bed face.
Yeah. And then also I know when we built our stove cabinet, we had the original plan of putting in a propane stove. However, through this build, we decided to completely scratch propane and go all electric. So we added a new battery and we bought a Ninja oven and an induction cooktop. So that way we don't have to cut the stove countertop, only our sink, and it saves us a lot of time. Countertop is cut and it looks perfect, and we are now ready to prep the counters for putting in our countertops.
I'm putting in all of our attachment points for our countertop right now. We've got some pocket holes that are going to go in here at the front, and then we're going to use our back strips that we have on our counters to screw in to the countertop. We'll also be putting in a cleat on the sides. That way the sides of our cabinets are held in and are attached to the top. Number one.
We let the cleats dry overnight, and now that the glue has fully cured, we are going to go ahead and install our our countertops. We're going to start with our stove countertop because all we need to do is put it in and secure it using the pocket holes and just screwing it up through some of our furring strips. Once we get this countertop in, we'll move to our sink and we will finish plumbing our van, and then we should be able to have running water.
Yeah.
After this.
Just gotta fill the tank.
Yes.
Gotta fill the tank.
Wow. We're moving in soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put this one in.
Right.
And also, I don't think we've mentioned anything about what countertops we bought. So we actually didn't go with butcher block. We talked with a local craftsman, I guess you could call him. Woodworker?
Yeah.
Craftsman? Yeah, and we ordered a custom red oak tabletop. So he edge glued everything, put it to the exact size that we need, what we needed, so we didn't get any excess. It is lightweight, a lot lighter than butcher block. We went through and, well, James did. He sanded it, polished it, finished it, and it looks friggin' amazing.
This is an inch, just under an inch thick. It's a 16th under an inch thick, which is exactly what I wanted. We did it an inch thick because that was the depth of the counter spacing for our original stove that we were going to put in. But now that we've switched, it's still fine. It's still perfect. And
sturdy. It's stable.
Yeah, and it's going to last a long time.
Mm-hmm. And red oak definitely brings out the reddish tint, which is really nice. It's really nice. Okay, I guess we're putting it in.
Yep.
We are going to finish the day off by putting in our sink and finishing up our countertops.
To put in our sink, we're using a clear silicone adhesive. We're going to apply a bead all the way around the edge and then set it and drop it into place. And then we're going to use some heavy weights to weigh it down as it glues. We'll then use the exact same silicone to seal the edges around if there's anything that needs to be sealed around it. So this acts as both a sealant and an adhesive for us. Our sink has dried overnight, so it is stuck into position. So we're going to go ahead and put in our faucet and our drain and hook it all up so we can have a running sink in our van. I'm going to start with the faucet because it'll be kind of difficult to get this in once the drain is in. Then we need to screw it in from underneath.
The last two things we need to install for the sink are the drain and the P-trap. So for our sink that we originally bought, it came with this plastic drain, and it was super long, and it kind of just interfered with our cat's litter box area. So we went to the store and bought a shorter drain that will connect to our low profile P-trap. This saves us a lot of space underneath our sink, so we have more room for the cats, and we'll also be able to put a shelf right underneath it for a little bit of extra storage as well. The original drain that we bought came with a rubber gasket, so that's what we're going to be using to adhere everything. We're not going to be using plumber's putty. That's not going anywhere. Okay. Alright, last bit, oops, is our P-trap. Did you attach all the washers?
Nope. It doesn't, I don't know.
It's plumbed. Now let's see if it works. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We did a sink.
Woo! Our sink is done. That's literally the last piece. We have just filled up our water tank so that we can test our entire plumbing system. We've already done one test to make sure that our base water setup works, and we did have a few leaks, but we managed to fix those pretty quickly. Now it is time to test the water heater and our sink. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on our water level gauge to see if it works. Turns red, and we are actually half full. So it works. You did it. Sweet. I kind of like that it's colored underneath now, because in the closet it's going to be dark. I like it. All right, now that that is on, we're going to turn the pump on. Water pump on. We're going to start hearing it. Now it's going.
Get it?
Now we turn the pump on.
I hear it. I'm going to put your cap on.
We have a leak.
Uh-oh.
That was straight coming out of something. What the heck?
A leak.
We don't think that the hose connecting the faucet was tightened.
Yeah.
Tested our sink again. It was just the hose that connected the sink to the water line. Very easy fixable kind of. James just had to get underneath and tighten up the bolt. But now it works down here. So we're good with water. No leaks down here, no leaks under the van. However, the accumulator is still leaking. So now we gotta go figure that out. Okay, test it. No water's coming out. Alright, so the accumulator, we think if we fix it, we just need to tighten it. We did have to take off one of our slats for our bed, but luckily it wasn't that difficult to access it, so that's good to know for future reference. But we think the accumulator's good, the sink's good, but now we have a problem at our shower.
Dang, I really didn't think that this one was going to leak. I think, from what I can see, every single port on this
Is leaking?
is leaking. It's definitely the top one's leaking. Yeah, each one is water. Unfortunately, our last leak that we have is our mixing valve right here for our outdoor shower in the back. I have gone through and unscrewed these connection points and rescrewed them in. I've tightened them as much as possible, but we are still getting leaks. So we decided to reach out to a plumber friend that we know and ask him questions about what he thinks is going wrong. So there are rubber washers in each one of these. It came with the valve, so I thought I should go ahead and put them in there. But he was confused as to why there's rubber washers and MPT connection points. Normally there are not rubber washers, and you just screw these in with some Teflon tape and you're good. So the next thing that I'm going to try is unscrew all of these, take out the rubber washers, re-put Teflon tape on them, and screw them in and see if that fixes the problem. Alright, I've re-put Teflon tape on all of them, and then I've taken out all of the black rubber washers inside. These are the 3 that it came with. And so now what I'm going to do is re-put this on, put them on as tight as possible, and see if it works out. Water's on. After retesting without the washers, the 2 on the sides did not leak. Our brass fittings, but our plastic fitting did still leak. I think that's because just taking the plastic in and out of this brass female MPT just destroyed the inside too much that I had to replace it with a new one. And since I'm replacing it with a new one, I went ahead and cut out all the way up to here, and I'm just replacing the PEX line to there. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a slow leak on this side.
Dang it.
So much easier with that correct fitting wrench.
Negative. Did you do it? Did you get it done?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah!
Finally!
Just a lot of Teflon. Just gotta rock on that Teflon like it's holding everything together. The lessons that I have learned from this project has been make sure you have good Teflon tape. I was using the Teflon that came with this valve, and obviously it is much different than the one that you might buy at Home Depot. This one is like clearly see-through, and it's much thinner. The one you buy at Home Depot is not see-through and much thicker. Also, use a lot of Teflon. Go ahead and do at least 3 wraps on these connection points. That'll get the job done. No washers, just Teflon, no leaks.
Sweet. Finally.
Before I put everything together, we are going to test our hot water system with our Bosch water heater to make sure that we have no leaks with that as well. And then our water system will be fully complete. And the pump is on, right?
We got it plugged in. Yeah.
Pump is on. All right, you ready?
Turn to ideal temp. Yep.
So, flip the switch. Did the light turn on?
No.
Something's wrong. We're done. Forgot to turn on the inverter. Inverter's on now, so now we have 120 volt electricity.
Now there's a light. I can kind of hear it turning on. So it is drawing electric. Dang, 77 amps. Okay, hot water. Puttering. And it's warm. It is warm. We got hot water. So we have no leaks down here. Accumulator's still not leaking. So that's a good sign. And pressure, obviously no water. Oh, no, we do have a leak. We have a leak. Hot water supply is leaking. The cold's not. Hot water is. It doesn't look like there's a leak anymore.
That's good. This is just hot water.
Very nice, very nice.
Alright, let's turn off its electricity.
Good job, baby. We did it. We're plumbers now.
We're plumbers. Our countertops are installed and we have a fully working water system.
It is crazy to see how far we've come for the past year. We started out with an empty metal box, not knowing how to do most things that require us for a van build. But now we can say we are a plumber, an electrician, a woodworker, and all sorts of things, all because of building out this tiny little home.
All that's left to do now is to move in.
And now we can say our van build chapter is complete. We are closing this chapter, saying goodbye to van build and hello van life.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to check out all of our future van travel.
We'll see you in our van life series. Bye.
See ya.
Wait. We did it.